Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Power Network. I'm Amy. So, today we have a very special edition of Highly Strange Days. So, that means Shannon's with me too. We've got a Florida man story, and it involves a kidnapping by Gerald the Dolphin. Today's Florida man case takes us underwater to a forced labor camp. Deputies found a man soaking wet along the Sanibel Causeway, furiously drawing blueprints in the sand. He claims he was kidnapped by a pod of dolphins while swimming off of Fort Myers Beach. According to him, they escorted him 40 feet below the surface to an underwater construction site. When asked, well, how did he breathe? He said, Gerald handled that. And you don't question Gerald. I don't know, guys. With the way the world is going nowadays, could this actually be true? Well, we've got to dig into it. I'm rolling the intro while the algorithm brings in the rest of the power crew. Shout out to my replay crew. Love you, babies. Welcome to Highly Strange Days. I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
My neighbor Jennifer sits all alone. She dreams of flying up to the moon. And she thinks it's the perfect night for dreaming and make believing.
I think it's a perfect day to talk about Gerald the Dolphin. This story fascinates me. And Kim says, hi, Kim, by the way. I mean, anything is possible considering humans can't get to the bottom of the ocean. And yeah, and considering there's more land in the ocean than there is land, like, you know what I mean? There's more square footage of ocean than there is land. And we haven't discovered all of land. And there's also this weird little fact that, did you know we're not allowed to talk to wild dolphins? Did you know that humans are not allowed to talk to wild dolphins? Well, let me bring on my good friend Shannon, and she can let me know if she knew that. Hey, Shannon, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Amy?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
Did you know that we're not allowed to talk to wild dolphins? It's illegal.
I was not aware of that. Did they say why?
Well, hold on a second. I am Today we're coming to everybody on well, I'm in YouTube jail or Facebook jail. So today we're coming to you on Instagram and YouTube, and the Instagram feed looks weird. But anyway, hi everybody on Instagram. I don't know what's wrong with the feed, but anyway, they so in doing the research and finding out why we can't talk to wild dolphins, I do have some things that we're going to take a look at, and they're going to let us know. But personally, I just think that our government knows more about things that it's not willing to share with us. Because why would we be allowed to not talk to wild dolphins, but we can talk to them in aquariums and stuff, or like see them and interact with them that way?
I think it's really strange that they specify that we can't talk to them.
Yeah, we can't
because they talk back.
We can't interact with them. We can't interact with them. So they're not really saying specifically talk to them, but you can't interact with them. So in the way that humans interact, we talk.
But it's okay to interact with the ones that are in captivity.
Yeah.
So when people pay money to swim with the dolphins, is that in captivity?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then I saw a really funny comment. You know how we covered the case about how the elites were capturing the God,
Mermaids?
mermaids and eating them, and somebody said, well, they don't want the dolphins to tell the mermaids, or the mermaids to tell the dolphins to tell us what's happening, or vice versa. Like, they don't want it to
Oh,
get out in the world what the humans are doing to the ocean creatures.
dang.
You know what's crazy too is, like, just like 2 or 3 months ago, us having this conversation would seem like, even me talking about conspiracies and whatnot, it would even, like, not seem possible, but yet us having this conversation right now feels like it could be possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I come with both
Absolutely.
sides, friend. I come with both sides as always. So we got
Well, good.
that. All right. So let's get our screen all situated. Like I said, today we're coming to you on YouTube. We're coming to you on our Feel Good University and the Power Network. And we're also coming to you over on Instagram, because I got myself in a little trouble over on Facebook. So I'm in
But it was worth it.
it was so worth it. It was so worth it. I do it again. And you know what's so funny was, okay, so let me just, oh, okay, Junie. All right, I'll calm it down. But it did feel good. I had some satisfaction. Hold on, I'll get my screen up and I'll share it. So I'm a little bit outraged by the fact that there was this Marine that went in front of the a board and was, stating his using his free speech, and the government used such force on him that they literally broke his arm, and then they detained him, and they wouldn't tell him where his family, where he was. So in essence, and then they kidnapped him, right? Because I guess that's
Right.
what we do in our the United States these days, is we just kidnap people, we eat them, we just do whatever we want. So that's I put up a little thing about it, and this person said to me, well, he deserved it because he was wearing his uniform. And I said, oh, well, that's what we do in the United States. Like, we probably should have, I said, graped him and ate pizza, right? But I didn't use those words. I didn't use the play words that we have to use uh, on the YouTube streets. And I got myself in trouble. So I got myself in trouble until April over on Facebook. So we
Until
are now,
April?
yeah, till April.
That's a long time.
I know. Who you
No.
telling, sister? But it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it's getting
Yeah,
bad.
it was worth it.
The censorship is getting bad. It just, like, it is. It is in our world, especially if you're living in the United States. It's a real, like, drag. So
Problem. Yeah.
okay, so but getting back over to Gerald the Dolphin, I had seen this. He popped up over on the Tiki Taki streets, and I saw this video of him. And I thought we must cover this because it was just fascinating to me. Let me make sure I
Well,
got
yeah,
my
that and they supposedly found Atlantis or something like Atlantis in the Middle East.
recently they did, yeah. And they're also saying too that
Gerald sounds pretty cool.
Egypt is in Tennessee.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
finding Egyptian ruins and stuff like that in Tennessee. It's just like the world is upside down. It's just really upside down. I've been watching a lot where they're talking about, like, World War II was mainly about tearing down monuments from, ancient days to hide what the earth and the power and the energy and what the ancient ruins, and, like, yeah, it wasn't really about the mustache man, because you can't even say that guy's name either. So anyway, but
Really?
let's get back to Gerald. So here's Gerald. We'll do another live if you want to talk about all that, because I've been off in the woo woo. I can't even do true crime anymore because I'm just so far into this stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
I can do true crime. Like I've been looking at true crime, but I'm looking more at true crime like are in the Epstein files, like these unsolved
Mhm.
cases. I've noticed that like John Benet Ramsey, Madeline McCants, and a few other little missing kids are in the Epstein files. So I'm like very fascinated in what like the missing people and kids that are in the files. But that's like goes into because the file's all about satanic worship and stuff like that, and that's the woo, right? So I don't know. I'm fully
Yeah,
in my
true.
woo.
Mhm.
Okay, but anyway, getting back to Gerald, here is a Florida man claims that the Dolphins force him to build an underwater world.
I bet you thought this story couldn't get any crazier. I've got your crazy. He claims he was down there for 3 days helping them build their underwater city. 3 days! And after those 3 days were up, he claims that they told him that they were satisfied with his work, so they took him back to the surface. But they told him, we'll be back. We'll be back for you for phase 2. I'm sure if you're still here watching the video, you're like, oh, he was most likely on or drunk. And that was what I thought. But when he got to the hospital and they ran all the tests, this is what's absolutely nuts. Yes, he was dehydrated, but there were no or alcohol in his system, and there were no head contusions or blunt forces to the head or any signs of any kind of mental illnesses. They did find marine particles and seawater in his lungs that indicated that he had been at a deep underwater level for a long time without any lung damage. Now, if you're wondering, why him? Why did they choose him? It's because, and he says this in his statement, they chose him because he has a master's degree in aerospace engineering and is extremely knowledgeable in underwater technology. And that's the reason Gerald chose him. And I'm not going to lie, I believe him. I've always heard that it's illegal to communicate with dolphins, but what on earth do you call it when they kidnap you to go build their underwater cities?
And so I did a little research on this to just kind of get the full story on exactly what happened. And so what happened was in Fort Myers, Florida, a Florida man was arrested after deputies found him soaking wet along the Sanibel Causeway, standing on the shoulder of the road, drawing blueprints in the sand. According to the Lee County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded early Monday morning after a motorist reported a man who appeared disoriented, barefoot, sunburned, and sketching what looked like architectural plans directly into the sand. When deputies arrived, they found 33-year-old Ricky James Hallowell wearing only swim trunks and visibly exhausted after what he claimed had been 3 days underwater. Hallowell told deputies he had been kidnapped by a pod of dolphins while swimming off Fort Myers Beach. He said the dolphins surrounded him in the water and escorted him roughly 40 feet below the surface to what he described as an underwater construction site. According to Hallowell, the dolphins communicated through a series of clicks and sounds that he gradually learned to interpret, and they needed him to help design and build structures for their underwater community. He said the dolphins were organized and that the project had a foreman, and the dolphin he referred to, the foreman was the dolphin that has been referred to as Gerald. Deputies asked how he managed to survive underwater for 3 days without drowning. Hallowell reportedly gave him a direct answer. Gerald handled that, he said. I didn't ask questions. You just don't question Gerald. So investigators noted that Hallowell had drawn an extremely detailed blueprint in the sand before deputies arrived. The design reportedly included condominiums, a town square, and a recreation center laid out in a way officers described as detailed enough to be concerning. One responding deputy later added that the blueprint even appeared to include zoning sections for underwater structures. Hallowell told deputies the dolphin eventually released him after they were satisfied with his work, but warned him that Gerald said that he would be returning for phase 2. He was transported for medical evaluation. Gerald the dolphin was reportedly unavailable for comment.
So So, how are they? I mean, if I was him, I would stay away from the water for the rest of my life.
Well, people are doing funny things. Like somebody just made this.
Yeah.
Now get him back to the kingdom! Wait, they can't breathe under here! Oh, this motherfucker can breathe, don't let him fool you! We're about to work your knuckles off, bitch! I need to get back home, I can't move these big rocks! Work harder, human! How the fuck am I even breathing under here? I bet she's already went back to her ex by now. I've got to get out of here. You ain't going nowhere yet, buddy. Soon we'll have a whole farm of you alien fuckers down here. Tartaria for life, bitch! Now go bring us more of you. You destroyed our kingdom and it's time for you to fix it.
So people are maybe thinking that the Dolphins are getting back, and for those that think that like, oh, this is just a bunch of hooey, this is just ridiculous, then why are they searching?
Following Gerald the Dolphin story, this is like right where he says Gerald took him. Sanibel Causeway to your left, but I'm randomly staying at this hotel, and this helicopter is literally like so low, and the helicopter came out of the island that right there behind the helicopter. It's completely deserted. There's nothing there, and he just came up from over there. Like, what?
So that's happening. And here's a little bit more. The funny things people are saying.
Okay.
All hands, hoist the colors high.
Bro, that genuinely stressed me out. People are not scared enough of the ocean, and I'm here to fix that. Welcome back to another episode of Why I Stay on Land, where I give you some self-inflicted thalassophobia right before bed. I have made 2 episodes on this whole Gerald thing, the Dolphins kidnapping that Florida man. For y'all that are new here and haven't heard about the story in general, you guys have been flooding my DMs to talk about it, so I'll talk about it again. Basically, boom, Florida man is found. He's disoriented. He's badly sunburned. Police are like, bro, what's wrong with you? And he was like, I was kidnapped by some bottlenose dolphins where they brought me like 40 meters under the ocean and forced me to build condos and homes underwater. Mind you, homeboy is tested. His mental is tested. He is not crazy. He's tested for substances, none found. They found certain marine particles all in his lungs. They found like a coral that's really deep in the ocean etched into his hand like he was working. And the police asked him, so how did you breathe underwater? He said, Gerald handled that. Gerald? Who is Gerald? That's what I want to know. Turns out Gerald is the head honcho. Turns out the name Gerald means ruler with a spear. Hold on, wait a minute. This is making too much sense. He told Gerald, Gerald, I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell everybody what you got me doing. I'm going to tell everybody you took me. Gerald said, no one's going to believe you. And that's what he told the police, right? Here's the thing, as ridiculous as that sounds, like I cannot say I believe it and I cannot say I don't. Because the thing is, people have been studying dolphins forever. We already know how smart they are. We already know about the dolphin-assisted births. We already know how we are literally discouraged from speaking to them in their natural habitat, but we can talk to them in captivity. They speak through echolocation. Like they are so smart. And there is so much to dolphins, bro. So I'm asking y'all, you see that ocean in the beginning of this video? You're telling me, like, do we really know what's going on in there? You have all that ocean. There's more ocean than land on the earth. So you're telling me that Gerald doesn't exist and homeboy was not building condos down there? How do you know? And if he wasn't down there building condos, why did they send out a freaking helicopter to look in the exact place that Florida man said Gerald was? So now here, hold on. Why don't we think outside the box over here? If they're looking for Gerald because they know that the Dolphins be talking to the sirens and they don't want people to know okay, I think I sound a little crazy.
The one that said that the Dolphins would talk to the sirens and they don't want people to know, and that's when I immediately thought about the elites eating the rich or the Dolphins, and they of course would not want that out, right? But that's kind of getting
Right.
So here's another one talking about like why is the government investigating this?
Not believe this dolphin shit, but the government believe it, because if the government didn't believe it, the government wouldn't be out there looking into this shit. It's something going on with that goddamn dolphin. Somebody, the government believe that shit. Look at this.
Surface. He said they forced him to help build underwater structures. He told deputies the Dolphins communicated with him using clicks. He said the group had a leader named Gerald who somehow helped him breathe underwater. Possibly
At
by
least
creating
Gerald
airspace.
helped him breathe
The
underwater.
man
He
spent
ain't
3
let him
days
just
working on
die.
what he described as cities, towns, and condo-like structures. When the Dolphins were satisfied with his work, they sent him back to the surface and told him
Just
they would
like
return for
Florida
phase
people.
2.
Once
What's interesting too is you know how the Simpsons they predict everything?
Yes.
Well, here is the Simpsons.
No way.
Clowns from the sea. Ow! Ow! Hey, what's the gas? Bottlenose bruises, blowhole burns, slipper prints. This looks like the work of rowdy teens. Lou, cancel the prom. It begins. The dolphins are upon us, and only this old seagull knows how to. You're not sure.
Oh, you know, there it is in the Simpsons, so it must be true.
Must be. Dang.
So over on Reddit, I wanted to know what they were saying about this Florida man case. Here is the thing, and they were saying that I heard the FBI is investigating this. Also, I'm not surprised he got arrested when it's illegal to even try to communicate with dolphins. Dolphin assisted births used to be a thing and had great benefits to the mother and child, and were also banned. It makes you start to question it all, which I didn't know there was such a thing as dolphin assisted births. Did you?
Me either. That makes me want to look it up.
Yeah. Well, I did look up the information about is it illegal to interact with dolphins, and yes, indeed, it's generally illegal to interact with wild dolphins in the United States under the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972. It's prohibited to feed, touch, swim with, or harass wild dolphins, with violations potentially resulting in fines exceeding 11,000 and up to a year in prison. So, and here's some people talking about it.
Interact with a wild dolphin. And I mean interact in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Don't try and talk to it. Don't try and elicit a response from it. Don't feed it. Don't touch it. No, nothing. Don't even look at that bitch. Now, they say this is to protect dolphins and humans alike, and I'll buy that because they're wild animals, okay? But why can't I even try to speak to it? Why can't I even just try to elicit out of it? I don't know how dolphins sound. The fuck, they don't understand me, and I don't understand them, right? Right? It is a felony to even attempt this behavior. There's even a snitch line for it. Dolphins are too smart. They are self-aware. They have shown signs of empathy because they'll help out other creatures, including human beings. They can communicate amongst themselves in a language that we don't understand at all. It's the clicks and the, you know what I'm saying, those high-pitched noises. Some of them our ears can't even pick up on. They are the second smartest creature on Earth behind us. Do they have a conscience? They live in an environment that we haven't explored 80% of. We don't know 80% of what's down there in that ocean, but you know who does? Dolphins. And we are allowed to talk to them.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Legal to talk to dolphins in the wild? No, seriously. I was very shocked when I heard about this. So that's why we're going to talk about it. It's not because dolphins are rude or because they're tired about humans asking them about Atlantis. It's because of the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972. This law makes it illegal to feed, touch, chase, and yes, even interact with wild dolphins without a permit. And this includes talking to, whistling to them, pretty much if you're close enough to disrupt their natural behavior. Why? Because we're annoying. And also because interacting with dolphins can disrupt their feeding patterns, make them way too comfortable around boats, and even make them aggressive. Dolphins are insanely smart, but they're also vulnerable. Human interference puts them at risk. You could be at risk for fines. So if you see a dolphin in the wild, admire from afar, just respect the wildlife.
I mean, it's okay to put them in aquariums and pound on the glass and just basically put them in a bathtub, but in the, out in nature, we got to respect them.
Right. Yeah. Goodness. This reminds me a little bit. I think it was a King of the Hill episode where they were swimming with the dolphins.
Oh.
And one of the dolphins got a little amorous.
Yeah, they do that. They're very amorous dolphins.
Yeah, and they actually injured. I think it was Bobby, maybe. Anyhow, they injured the dolphin on the show injured the person because they were overly amorous.
Well, I've seen other stories where the dolphin has tried to have intercourse with the human, and I'm sure there's probably, I saw in the comments there was somebody said some guy was having sex with intercourse, or I don't even know what I can say on YouTube, but was interacting with a dolphin in an inappropriate way in captivity. In captivity is the key word that they use there. In captivity.
Oh.
So
okay.
And yeah, so I'm sure people do weird stuff because people do weird stuff with every animal, which is called, there's a word for that. So anyway, I was looking at and I look at animals like I look at little child humans. They need to be protected. Humans who do that kind of shit need to be put away, right? That's not right. I look at animals just like I look at the little humans, what's happening to them, and it's no. So, but humanity is one step away, I saw, from communicating with dolphins. You feel like reading a little bit?
Yeah, I could do that. Just a moment. Let me zoom in. Okay. Dolphins are among the most intelligent and sociable animals on Earth, and now it appears that scientists have found a way to communicate with them. A new large language model of an AI system could soon allow humans to communicate with dolphins, with the technology set to be unveiled in the coming months, reports Popular Science. The new language model is called Dolphin Gemma, and its companion system is called Cetacean Hearing Augmentation Telemetry Chat. The language models are expected to debut in the coming months after scientists conduct tests to see if the new technology can translate and mimic some of the most complex mammal vocalizations. If successful, the scientists' work could be the culmination of more than 4 decades of work, documentation, and conservation efforts. The project, carried out by scientists from the Wild Dolphin Project, or WDP, has spanned the last 40 years. During the study, the team collected underwater audio and video footage documenting a community of Atlantic spotted dolphins in the Bahamas.
I thought we'd take a quick little peek at it here.
Sure.
I've been waiting for this for 40 years.
Denise has the world's largest collection of dolphin vocalizations. I'm a research scientist at Google DeepMind. Dolphin Gemma is the first LLM trained to try to understand dolphin language.
Dolphin Gemma will input sounds.
Once a dolphin starts doing a vocalization like a whistle, it can try to complete the end of it.
When you're doing a Google search, right, it's finishing your sentence, right?
Dolphin Gemma has Denise's data and sort of encapsulates a lot of the knowledge and experience she has in it. But it's also small enough we can train it with more data as we get it. we can actually keep on fine-tuning the model as we go and hopefully get better and better understanding of what the dolphins are producing.
We do not know if animals have words. Dolphins can recognize themselves in the mirrors. They use tools, so they're smart, but language is still the last barrier. So feeding dolphin sounds into an AI model like Dolphin Gemma will give us a really good look at if there are patterns, subtleties that humans can't pick out.
If dolphins have language, then they probably also have culture.
You're going to understand what priorities they have. What do they talk about? The goal would be to someday speak dolphin, and we're really trying to crack the code.
So that's a little on, and the results where the scientists were able to match sounds with behavioral aspects. I had read that they're getting closer and closer to picking up the language of the dolphins and the whales too.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
So we're going to now turn, and of course, mainstream media is starting to debunk this Florida man story. They're not so happy with it. There's over on the Gulf Coast News, there's this viral dolphin kidnapping arrest story is fake, Lee County deputies say. A viral social media claiming a Florida man was arrested after being found soaking wet and drawing blueprints in the sand along the Sanibel Causeway is false, authorities say. The widely shared post claims Lee County deputies arrested the man and details an unusual story involving dolphins allegedly forcing him to design an underwater city, but the Lee County Sheriff Office says the incident never happened. Officials told reporters they have no record of such an arrest, and the deputy named in the viral story does not exist. So, I went a little bit deeper and went over to Snopes.
Yeah.
Here's a fact check, and they said, was Florida man kidnapped by dolphins? We dived into the rumor. So rumor has it the dolphins also forced the Florida man to build an underwater city, but the claim was purposely deceitful. In early March 2026, the Florida man claimed he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. A fate circulated online around about a Florida man who allegedly claimed all this, that a pod of dolphins kidnapped him and forced him to work on building an underwater city. One Facebook post archive featuring the rumor was shared more than 47,000 times. It included a photo of a sunburned man reportedly named Ricky James Hallowell and a description of what apparently happened to him. The caption read, and this is, we've all read this, so he was taken underwater. He communicated through a series of clicks. The head honcho's name was Gerald. That he had drawn an elaborate blueprint in the sand that deputies described as detailed enough to be concerning. He told officers he was released because the dolphins were satisfied with his work, but Gerald said they'd be back for phase 2. Responding, Deputy Sean Oakley told reporters, I've been with the sheriff office 11 years. The blueprints were the part that got me. He had zoning. Hallowell had transported for medical evaluation. Some men build cities on land. Ricky Hallowell claims he built one underwater for dolphins. And honestly, the blueprints were hard to argue with. And there's the report on Facebook. And so the claim also appeared on Threads, Reddit, and Instagram. Some posts featured a screenshot purportedly showing an X post by Detroit-based news media outlet WXYZ News. The alleged post included a photo of the same individual and the caption, Florida man claims he was kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. Snopes readers also searched the site wondering if the story was real. In short, the image and the tale of the man kidnapped by dolphins originated from a satirical social media account. The sheriff's department referenced in the story also confirmed the story was not real. A reverse image search revealed that a network of social media accounts called the Dude Humor Report first posted the satirical claim on social media, archived. The Dude Humor Report's Facebook bio described the account's content as satirical. Dude humor, where breaking news meets pure entertainment for wild headlines and viral stories. The page features satire and parody stories that are exaggerated, developing fictional, created for entertainment purposes only. The Lee County Sheriff's Office, which was cited as the law enforcement agency that responded to reports, the man who said to be kidnapped by dolphins shared the Dude Humor Report's Facebook post with a tongue-in-cheek denial that read, "While living in Lee County is paradise, we can confidently confirm the underwater real estate market has not been tapped into yet. We checked with our newly implemented underwater construction investigation team and learned the dolphins of our oceans deny any involvement. Disclaimer, no dolphins were harmed in the making of this humor."
Yeah.
So the Dude Humor Report originally posted the story, a screenshot, making it appear as if WXYZ7 News posted about the story on its X account with the name. So the account had screenshots, had a circular icon with a blue check mark on it. And this is a real news station, as we both know, because we're from the Well, did you know that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So while the station's logo in the satirical post was almost identical to the real Detroit-based outlet's icon, the logo in the satirical post featured a major error. The fake logo in the satirical screenshot included writing that vaguely resembled 500 or SOO instead of ABC as it appears in the authentic logo. Snopes found no evidence archived of the authentic WXYZ Detroit X account posting the satirical story about the Florida man being kidnapped by dolphins. Google search results also uncovered no examples archived of the news media outlet reporting on the fabricated tale. Let us note here, whether you agree with something being described as satire or parody is a matter of opinion. Snopes is in the business of facts. We label these rumors based on creators' description of them. Your call on whether you agree. And so
Wow.
there's also one more thing I want to submit for your approval, and then we can talk about it until we can decide what we think. Okay. So
Okay.
there's
Sounds
also
fantastic.
this that I found.
Human language. Dolphin could speak. May 7th, 1965. Our specimen was a 15-year-old male named Gerald. He was very smart, very strong-willed. But as Gerald reached breeding age, he became less focused, agitated. His natural drive was distracting him from our work. You know, when a dolphin reaches sexual maturity, there's no stopping them. And then one day I was in the water with Gerald when I got that glass.
Hey, Amy. You realize that that's Saturday Night Live, right?
Exactly.
Oh. Okay.
And so I turned to Mary and I said, why don't I just yank him off? Just like that. Is this legit? At first I wasn't sure it was ethical, but we had to. For the science. So 8 years ago.
So we're gonna just bring it home with a little Saturday Night Live. And what do you think?
I think it's satirical, completely satirical. I don't think there's, I mean, maybe the Dude Humor place, you know, maybe they remembered Gerald from Saturday Night Live when that posted. That was, I mean, Kate McKinnon and Adie Bryant are no longer on Saturday Night Live. It's been a few years, so they might have remembered that and used that in their story. But yeah, I think it's completely satirical.
Yeah, I think so too. It almost had me, but I think it just proves that you need to really kind of do your research because it is fun and it is there. It's very strange that we're not allowed to interact and talk with dolphins, and I think there could be something to that. Like I think animals know way more than they've tried to make us think we're the superior race, right? Because we can
Mhm.
gun or do whatever or pew pew and do whatever, but I think there is something to animals being able to communicate with us, and it's very strange that we're not allowed to interact with them in nature. But yes, I think this is definitely something that came from Saturday Night Live that went, like but also The Simpsons, I think in The Simpsons touched on it too. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's something to it because uh there's so much conspiracy around it, like when there's a lot of stories around it, and but I also think this particular Gerald the Dolphin story is false.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Amy, for doing all the research because like I thought it was potentially real. And then you showed us the stories that you found where they were like, oh, there's no such deputy in that department. The sheriff's department says it never happened. I was like, oh. So
Yeah,
thank you.
well,
Thank
and
you for your research.
you're welcome. And when I first saw mainstream media poo-pooing it, I was like, yeah, but why are they searching it for it? But I mean, that helicopter could have been up in the sky for any reason, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah. I think this is Jeff. Welcome to the Dragonflies. Welcome back, Sizzle74. It's so good to see. I think this is Jeff. But yeah, welcome to the Dragonflies. The Dragonfly is the membership community we have over on YouTube. It's $3.99 a month. I give a little extra videos and posts and whatnot, and I release some of my videos early to the Dragonflies. It's just a way that I can support you a little bit with some extra content and a way for you to support our channel a little bit extra. It's $3.99 a month, and we'd love to have you. I will put the links to everything that we view today over in the YouTube show notes, and I will also put the link to the Dragonfly membership there. We do this to cite our sources and for fair use. And Anderson, thank you for stopping in and briefly exposing yourself to us. Leave that to Dr. Yan, though, please. Anderson is a comedian.
Oh, okay.
So, Carolina says this story reminds me of the alien abduction stories, although I do believe some of those. I do believe some of the alien abduction stories actually. And I mean, I we don't know what's underneath in the ocean as just as much as they're not really telling us what's up there in the skies either. So, and with the way the world is, it's really hard to lasso onto reality. And so I just really urge people to just like try to firmly plant yourself on the ground, and like if you hear a conspiracy, try to follow it through to the end. That's what Shannon and I always did when we did our paranormal stuff. We debunked until you couldn't, and then you were like, oh yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, that's what we did.
You don't understand the dolphin subject. Well, the dolphin subject has just been running rampant through the Tiki-Taki, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Thread streets, and so I needed to talk about it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you came to me and said, hey, are you up for a special edition? I think we should do this more often. I love, yeah, and I love the whole, satire or real concept.
I like that too. I like it. I feel like we're getting back into our paranormal days when, like I said, we were out there trying to figure shit out.
Right. Absolutely.
We're not supposed
Amy,
to.
Oh, I was gonna say, thanks for coming up with this and getting me involved in it today. I do have to head out.
Okay.
All right. Love you, Amy. Love you,
Love you too.
everyone.
Bye, Shannon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys. So, what do you guys think? Do you think it's just a bunch of hooey, or do you buy into Gerald the Dolphin? I think it's really fun to talk about and to think about and to consider. But I really think maybe this one in particular is not true. But also, I have to also say, when we looked at Pizzagate, I looked at it all and I thought, no, it couldn't possibly be true. It couldn't be true, but I believe that's true. I believe Pizzagate is a thing. So, I don't know. But I will say that I think the Snopes article and the fact that the Lee County said that they don't have an officer by that name, I've actually not seen any police report on it. So, and also the fact that this was brought up in a satirical dude page, the dude page. So, yeah, I think that's what's up. Okay, guys, I'm gonna head out. You loved the little movie. I know, wasn't that funny? It was. I'm really having a lot of fun now that I'm kind of like on lockdown over on Facebook. I've kind of been over on Instagram and the Tiki Tacky Streets much more lately, and I've been finding a lot of like fun things over there. Here, let me show you. Hold on. Move myself out of the way. Whoops. So we're over here on TikTok. We're the Power Network. And I was saving a lot of the Gerald the Dolphin videos because people were cracking me up with it. They were just really having a lot of fun with it. Like, here's this woman.
I have a message for Gerald, the leader of the Dolphins. Kevin will not be completing phase 2 until he gets some form of payment at this point. He needs a bag of pearls. You had him down there for 3 days. It was very, very stressful work conditions. He was underground. Okay. You need to pay him for that. I think you're a leader of honor. Hopefully, you're a respectable leader. And so you understand that. You can't just take our intel and our knowledge like that and not pay for it, okay, sir? So we think that Kevin needs to get some kind of compensation for those 3 days underwater and the knowledge that he gave you. So we're going to need you to start producing some pearls, or you're not getting him for phase 2, okay? And a side note, Kevin never signed an NDA or a confidentiality waiver, so he is free to tell us everything that happens, and he has. I have a message for Gerald.
And so there's just like a lot of funny things that people are talking about, and there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. Here's one that I found about a new one. I don't know if you remembered me mentioning earlier in the show. I had talked about, Shannon and I talked about the elites doing mermaid hunts. Here's another video on mermaid hunts.
So if I told you that my dad signed an NDA to hunt something that wasn't supposed to exist, and that the people funding it weren't scientists, but billionaires, you wouldn't believe me, but this was posted on a forum where people share their real supernatural encounters, and the details are much more terrifying. So I found this story buried on a thread where people anonymously confess strange things that they've experienced or that they've witnessed or that they had heard of. And this one story was about this guy who he had posted it and said his father worked for a private maritime security in the early 2000s. He was a former Navy, he was quiet, he was disciplined, and he never really exaggerated anything. But when he was dying, he told his son something that he absolutely couldn't make sense of. And he said, "We weren't hunting sharks." Now, according to the Post, his dad was contracted by a shell company connected to ultra wealthy collectors, right? Like the job was escort a research vessel about 200 miles off the coast, past normal shipping lanes, and there was no Coast Guard oversight, no official paperwork, and everything was sealed under NDAs. Now, the coordinates allegedly lined up disturbingly close to the area of the 1997 bloop, that sound that was detected by the Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So the father told him that was the reason that the investors got interested in that area in the first place. And they weren't looking for treasure, they weren't looking for proof of anything like that. But for 3 nights, nothing happened. And just open ocean and sonar, anomalies that technicians blamed on like thermal layers and BS like that. However, on the 4th night, just after 2 a.m., the sonar technician froze dead in his seat, and something was moving beneath him. It wasn't swimming, but it was pacing, and it was matching the boat's speed, like nose to nose, and it was large, he said. Now, the dad and 2 others were ordered to deploy a baited cage, and it was of like raw tuna and animal blood and, nothing really scientific, not careful, just bait just thrown out there, right? Well, that's when the water started to vibrate. And the Post said his dad described a shape surfacing about 30 yards from the vessel. And at first, they thought it was, maybe a diver or pale, shoulders, long, like a long dark shark or something like that. But it wasn't treading water. It was perfectly still, and it was watching them. Now, the deck lights flickered and the radios cut to static immediately. And then the thing submerged without a splash. And moments later, something slammed the underside of the boat, and it was hard enough to knock one of the crew off of his feet. So the billionaire guests on board, yes, they were physically there, started arguing, and one of them wanted to capture it alive, and another just wanted footage. And this guy's father said that they lowered a reinforced net into the water and they caught something. But when they started hauling it up, the screaming began. And it wasn't mechanical, it wasn't a whale. They said that it sounded human, but it pierced their ears. And the dad said that he dropped his gloves because whatever was in that net started thrashing in a way that didn't make biological sense one bit. It was too strong and it was too coordinated. Then one of the cables actually snapped and the net plunged back into the black water. And the ocean went silent again. No more vibrating, no more splashes, no wake, just complete silence. The investors shut the operation down immediately on the spot, and everyone signed amended NDAs with heavier penalties, and the sonar logs were confiscated immediately, and the footage was seized. But here's the part that made the Post even more disturbing when I found it. When his dad came home, he stopped eating seafood, like entirely. Wouldn't even sit near it, and once just got, when he was watching this documentary about deep sea creatures, he muttered, "They're not animals." And he was younger and he didn't really pick anything up. But, before his dad died, he told his son something. And he said when the net came up for those few seconds under the floodlights, he saw a face. It wasn't a fish, but it was a human face with eyes that reflected like a cat's eyes or like a raccoon's eyes. And it had gills opening along the side of its ribs. Now, the Forum Post ended with this. He said, "Believe me or don't, but check missing yacht records from the region between 2003 and 2006. And there's a pattern. And my dad swore they weren't hunting a myth. They were trying to own one." So tell me, if creatures like that actually exist out there, do you think that they're hiding from us, or are we hiding from them?
I think it's more that they would be hiding from us, and I think it would be highly unlikely that, they would kidnap us and take us down to the bottom of the ocean. Shannon and I did Our Mermaids reel, and being trapped by the elite. Days on the Power Network. I'm Amy, and with me for the weird is Shannon. Tonight we are talking mermaids. Mermaids lore, mermaid footage, mermaid stories, and the big question, are the rich elite capturing mermaids and consuming them for nefarious reasons? Yeah, we're going there. As an added bonus, we've got mermaid sightings right here in the US, Michigan, and Florida, baby. I'm going to roll credits while we wait for the rest. So if you're interested in mermaids, go check that out. Here's some more that I found on mermaids. I love talking about mermaids.
And this is what they taste like. This creator claims to have received an email from someone who attended a secret mermaid party. They said that they paid $50,000 to enter. She nicknamed him Jonah and said that he has a history of seeking out rare and forbidden dining experiences, like eating venom in a different country, eating a meal cooked on lava in Iceland. The list goes on and on. When he heard about this opportunity, he jumped at it immediately. He was picked up in a black limo and taken to a secret location. There was a host with a white mask who greeted the guests. The mermaids looked eerily human from the torso up. They had shimmering blue and green tails, and their ribs were expertly cut to reveal marbled meat. The dish was thinly sliced, lightly seared, and served in a golden broth with unidentified herbs. He explained that it tastes like a combination of scallops and Wagyu beef, combined with a deep umami flavor. After eating these mermaids, he had a strange sensation. His heartbeat slowed, his breath deepened. He felt a low, resonant hum inside of his body. He then had visions of the deep ocean, feeling as if it was revealing secrets to him. And then the host made a toast, and he said, "To those who dine beyond the edge of the world." John rated the experience a 10 out of 10 and said he would do it again. My thought is that if any of this story actually has any truth to it, that they were actually eating dead people stitched together with fish parts, and it just makes it sound more appropriate and less inhumane. It makes it sound more legal to say that you're eating mermaid. And instead of being repulsed by it, you're intrigued because it's mermaid. And that's why all these
interesting concept that she has, that it wasn't actually a mermaid at all. It was just somebody being really sick about things and stitching a fish, like a dolphin and a human together, and saying it's a mermaid. I'm sure that probably happened. But there is a rumor whenever you see mermaid post, everyone says the Cantaflas, Mario Moreno, apparently he lived with mermaids.
We're back with more crazy mermaid stories, and this one is wild. So let's talk about it. Mario Moreno, which is known as Cantinflas, was an extremely popular Mexican comedian and actor. But not only was he extremely popular and wealthy and just well-known all over Mexico, he had an unusual obsession with mermaids, y'all. Obsessed to the point where he wanted a mermaid to be his wife. Yeah. So legend has it, one night he was on a boat or on a ship or something, and he was just out there enjoying his quiet time, and he heard some type of enchanting, soothing song that instantly had him mesmerized. And when he looked out, it was some mermaids, y'all. But it was no coincidence that these mermaids basically came out there where he was. Rumor has it that they basically chose him for a reason, simply because of his influence and his popularity. Y'all got to think, these are ancient creatures. They've been around forever and they know everything. So they basically use him to, be the voice and to put out certain messages. They said he put a bunch of different hidden little stuff in some of his scripts. So after that, he allegedly reached out to some mysterious man, y'all. He told him about his obsessions and his wish to basically be in cahoots with these mermaids and that he want to be around them and marry them. So I'm assuming he was some kind of witch or some type of man that does magic. So what he did was he told him to get this home on the beach in Acapulco. And he also told him to get this statue of himself and have it facing towards the ocean, y'all. So this is the real statue that is at his home. And he also had to place different marine spirits and these mermaid statues all around his home as well. And this is a better look at his home as well. You can see how he have all these different pools, which are saltwater pools connected to the ocean, so the mermaids can have access to come in. And rumor has it he used to have these elaborate parties, and the mermaids would be the guest of honor. They would literally come and visit him basically every night. And now rumor has it that these mermaids come every night around 2 or 3 a.m. and parlay around his statue looking for him because he's passed away. And some say in the middle of the night, you can see his statue take human form and jump into the sea. And there's been lots of videos of people like posting up and camping out to witness, the statue supposedly turn into human form and go into the ocean. There's also rumors that he had a girlfriend that was a mermaid as well. This whole story was absolutely crazy, but it's very true, y'all. This man had a complete obsession with these mermaids, and he supposedly made a deal and he was connected with them for life. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
So it's rumored that that man had mermaids in his home. And if you look over here in the comments, we have this person says, as an Acapulco native, the house he has with his statue has always been a we don't talk about it subject. It definitely gives you spooky vibes when you pass by it. So according to the Southern African spirituality, mermaids are spiritual beings who travel between the spiritual and physical realm not everybody can see. My uncle used to clean boats in Acapulco, and he always talked about mermaids singing near the shore. So there's just a lot of rumors and lore surrounding mermaids and the dolphins and the ocean, and I love to talk about it myself. And I think it's quite possible that the elites are eating the mermaids. But that's all I have for today, you guys. Tell me what you think. Do you believe this story, or do you think it has some truth, no truth? What are you feeling? Sounds like some of you are in the mood for some seafood now. Wow, that they didn't want us to hear the sonar picked up. I believe this story. They are unexplained things. I believe there's so much unexplained down in the ocean. I even believe that the aliens that are on Earth some of them are down in the ocean, in the earth. And yeah, there's so much to the earth that we just don't know, and it's starting to come out. There's a lot of disclosure happening all around us. So pay attention, my friends. Pay attention. I'm going to head out. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Kim, thanks for coming in and moderating. I really, really appreciate it. Carolina, it's so good to see you. Anders Gustafsson, so good to see you. Sizzle, thank you so much for I think it's Jeff. Let me know if I'm wrong. I have bad memory, but I haven't seen Jeff recently, so I think that's who it is. But welcome to the Dragonflies, and yeah, I'm gonna head out. If nobody's told you this today, and and Brandy K, thank you for stopping by. If I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. I was reading a lot, so I wasn't paying attention too much to chat. So anyway, I'm gonna head out. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I do not care. I'm still gonna tell you guys this. I love and appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out.
With you tonight, and it feels fine. Feels fine. Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight. Here in the blue, I'm dancing and falling out, hoping for some time with you.